Hi guys, welcome to our social studies class. Today we will start chapter number 7, lesson number 1, the law in a community. And I want you guys to open the books on page 95 and 96. Okay? Now let's start. Now, if you belong to a certain club, such as a sports center, this means that you have a membership that gives you the right to do many things at the center, such as playing on the tennis court, swimming in the pool, and using the shower. It's mean, guys. If you want to join the sports center, the sports center will give you an ID card. And this ID card, something like this card, will let you use the facility of the center, like the tennis court, the football playground, and the swimming pool, and the shower of the swimming pools, and so on. So you need an ID that will the people who work in the center will know that if you have this ID, it means you are allowed to use this facility. Okay? Now, let's continue. In the same way, to belong to a certain country is like having a membership in the country. In this time, you are called a citizen. Let's look at this picture in here. This is a national identity card. And this Mr. in here called Martins. And he is male and he is British citizen. His place of birth is London. And we have here some information about the birthday and the issue on the date of the issue and the day of the expired date. So now this card means that this person is from United Kingdom and he is a British citizen. By seeing this card, now I know where is he from and which country he belongs to. Each one of us have card like this. Tell us which country we are belong to. Okay? Now let's continue. Now, what does community means? Let's watch this video first and then let us continue.
Welcome to Kids Academy. Hello. Let's get started on the lesson. Communities can be different sizes. The family home that you live in is a small community. The continent that you live on is enormous. But they are both communities that you belong to. You know that a community is a place where people live together. But did you know that you belong to many different communities? Meet Maggie. She lives at home with her mom, dad, and a brother. This is Maggie's family community. This is Maggie's school community. And this is her classroom community. Maggie and her fellow students learn and play together. They are part of her social community. A social community is a group of people that you enjoy spending time with, like friends. Maggie is on the soccer team. Her teammates are also part of her social community. Maggie's school is part of her neighborhood. A neighborhood is the area near your home. Maggie's neighborhood is located in a big city called Miami. Miami is in the state of Florida. Florida is part of the United States of America. The USA is part of the continent North America. Whew, let's look at that again. Home. School. Neighborhood. City. Country. Continent. Maggie is a citizen, or member of all of these communities. Which communities do you belong to? Think about it. Let's review. People can belong to many different communities. These communities can be different sizes. A social community is a group of people that you enjoy spending time with. Friends and teammates can be part of your social community. A neighborhood is your nearby community. A citizen is a member of a place, such as a country. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Subscribe to our channel.
Yes, so a community is a group of people who live in a certain area and share the same facilities, such as schools, hospitals, parks, and streets. They also have the same customs and traditions. Do you guys understand what community is? Very good. Now let's continue. But how do people get along in a community? What makes people in a community follow orders? Who stops those who do something wrong? Let's watch this long cartoon about something called laws.
No sleeping while... Once upon a time, there was a king who liked to make rules. There were rules about tulips and rules about roses. There were rules about eyebrows and rules about noses. Rules about keys and rules about locks. Rules about shoes and rules about socks. Everybody in the country had to do what the rules said. Except me! In that country lived three friends who didn't like so many rules. There was Shiver, who was always cold. He loved to warm himself by a fire. No fires in January, February, or March. Fires are for the summer. But the king had so many rules about where and when and how to make fires that most of the time Shiver was cold. Shiver had a friend called Gobble. He was always hungry. But the king had many rules about eating. No eating cookies with your left hand. Apples are for Thursday. And absolutely no donuts in the kingdom. The third friend was called Snore. He loved to sleep. No sleeping while walking. And the only person in this kingdom who can snore is His Majesty, the King. One day, these three friends made up their minds to go away. They set out to find a place where they could live without any rules. Finally, they found a lovely wild land where there were no rules at all. And here they settled down. They built their houses the way they wanted. They planted their garden the way they wanted. One day, Gobble was hungry. He went to an apple tree in Snore's garden and filled his basket with apples. Wait a minute. Those are my apples. I can eat whatever I want. We don't have any rules about what to eat and what
not to eat.
If you come near my apple tree again, I'll hit you. One day, on his way home, Shiver made a big fire right near Gobble's house.
You can't make your fire there. You're scorching my doorknob.
I can make a fire wherever I want. We don't have any rules about fires.
That is for your fire, and that's for you.
Now, for a while, Snore was happy in the land without rules, but his neighbors weren't. I can't stand that snoring any longer. Listen, you're keeping me up at night. Either stop snoring or cover your head with pillows. I could snore all I want. We don't have any rules about that here. This made Shiver so angry that he made a giant noisemaker out of pots and pans. If you keep me awake, I'll keep you awake too. So matters went from bad to worse in the wild land without any rules. Because there were no rules against taking other people's apples, Snore was so busy guarding his apple tree, he didn't dare take his afternoon nap. Whenever he snored at night, the noisemaker woke him up. He was sleepier than ever. Gobble was so busy putting out Shiver's fires that he hardly had time to grow food in his garden. He was hungrier than ever. And Shiver was colder than ever.
Listen, something must be done. We came here because we didn't like the king's rules. But now, I'm just as hungry as ever.
And I'm just as cold. And I'm twice as sleepy.
How about if we made up our own rules? Just a few important ones to help us live together without fighting.
And we'd all have to follow them, not like the king who didn't have to follow his rules. So the three friends talked it over and decided on some rules. No eating apples from someone else's tree. No making fires near somebody else's house. No keeping people awake with noisy snoring. Everybody could still do what he wanted, as long as it wasn't bad for someone else. Today, people who live together make rules which everyone has to follow. These are called laws. There are laws about crossing streets, about driving cars, about keeping places clean, about stealing, and about many other things. People cannot live together without good, sensible laws. That's what Shiver, Gobble, and Snore found out once upon a time when they tried to live with no rules at all.
Yes. Now, in order so we can live in our community, laws are the rules that must be followed in a community. Laws are made for the safety and security of the people who live and work in a community. They are meant to solve problems between citizens in a fair way. So laws are really important in any community in the world. Without laws, the community will be chaos and we won't be happy in that community. So laws are to make the citizens to deal with the citizens in a fair way. Now, what is Parliament? Let's see.
Parliament is the heart of Canada's democracy. Located in the national capital, Ottawa, it's the country's federal legislature. This means Parliament makes laws that affect the whole country, in certain areas like fisheries, trade, defense, or the postal service. These are things things that affect all Canadians, no matter where they live. Parliament has three parts: the monarch, the Senate, and the House of Commons. The Senate and House of Commons are where parliamentarians meet to represent Canadians and discuss and debate issues that matter to them. As well as proposing its own bills, the Senate debates, studies, and refines proposals for new laws passed by the House of Commons. Senators are appointed to represent every province and territory in Canada. They offer regional and minority perspectives on issues discussed at Parliament. The House of Commons proposes, debates, reviews, and passes bills. This is where most new laws start their journey. Members of Parliament in the House of Commons are elected by Canadians like you. Each member of Parliament represents a specific area of the country called a constituency or riding. The third part of Parliament is the monarch. The monarch is the country's head of state and is represented by the Governor-General in Canada. After the Senate and House of Commons both pass a bill, the Governor-General signs it into law. The Governor-General also opens new sessions of Parliament and has the power to dissolve Parliament, which triggers an election. These are just a few of the Governor-General's roles. Together, the three parts of Parliament create new laws and tackle issues that impact the lives of all Canadians.
Yes, so right now the Parliament is an elected legal body whose job is to pass laws. It is the government's role to enforce these laws. So the job of the Parliament is to make law and to take this law in an elected legal way and to give this law to the citizens in order to follow the law. So, what is the job of the Parliament? What? Make laws. Very good. Now, thank you so much for watching, guys. This is our class today. Hope you like it so much and see you in the next class. Bye-bye.